Hey, what's up everybody? Bringing another review. This time is the Figma Deadpool 353 is the number. I will also be doing the DX one, but right now I'm just going to do the normal one. And let's get started. First and foremost, this is like the 85th Deadpool we're getting from everybody. I'm exaggerating for obvious reasons, but the point is we're getting a different Deadpool, and everyone wants to know what's the better one, what's this, what's that. At this point now, we're getting so many toys, it's not about what's better, it's about what matches your preference. Because now people are choosing what's stylized, what's not, what does it look like. At the end of the day, you're going to choose what you want to spend your money on, and that's fine. But Figma is obviously non-scale, so it's not one of those things where you're going to like scale in, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to compare it to other things anyway for you guys. But yeah, real start on the review. Honestly, I was on the fence when I got it, and it was simply because it leaned to being too thin. And then I remember that if you read the comics, Duncan Chevley's art works really well for this Deadpool, and immediately I was like, oh, I have so many ideas for this, because it just works depending on what kind of art style you like. So yeah, we're gonna get into articulation, all those things like that. First, I'm gonna take the swords off his back. There's a nice peg in the back for it, as well as the Figma peg to launch in if you want to do like a flight stand. And I'm gonna start with the swords, being that the swords are actually really cool because you can actually rotate them, and then you can, I didn't try to take it off, but as I'm trying now, you can honestly put just one sword if you want. So if you didn't want to do two swords, you can actually do just one for Deadpool, which is really cool. There are no swords in the actual sheaths. What happens is you're going to remove these. Actually, let me take the one that's not. You actually remove them, and they're part swappers. So just like the Revo one, you're going to part swap. You're going to take it out, and then that's when you do it with the actual swords. See? Real easy. But I'm going to leave one sword in there. It looked cool with just one for some apparent reason. I don't know why. But yeah. Now, in terms of articulation, the Figma stuff usually gets a crazy rep. Either as being crazy articulated or it's not. So we're going to go on what we can get. As far as head articulation, you get a neck joint that actually moves down, as well as the actual head moving down. So you get a nice range of motion going down, a little bit going backwards. It's going to leave a bit of a gap. So if you care about that kind of stuff aesthetic-wise, that's going to be a no-no for you. But you can also turn it slightly, so you can get those really weird, funny poses. You just got to be sure to work your joint. I'm going to remove this faceplate real fast. If I had some nails, I'd do it a lot easier, but I don't, so sue me. So as you remove the faceplate, you know that there is a ball joint working under there. And I don't want to remove it because I don't want to break it. I'm always scared of breaking ball joints. I have a tendency of doing that. So you can see it's in there. You want to be sure to rotate it. That way you can get your range of motion going. If not, if you can't see where you're going, you obviously are going to stretch the figure and stretch the ball joint. The default face is really nice, actually. Like I said, if you read the comics, it's really reminiscent of the Duncan Chevley stuff. The thinner head, the leaner body, things like that. Now onto the body wise. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because if you care for gaps, like I said, aesthetic wise, like on the Revo Deadpool one, this is not going to be for you. Because it's not one of those parts that's solid like the Mezco or the Marvel Legends one. It's just not going to be for you. So as you can see, still gets a nice range of motion. Arms are double jointed. There's actually an inner bicep swivel, so you can rotate it. And there's bicep swivel here. I mean, not bicep, forearm swivel, I should say. And then you still get to rotate. It's still on the classic Figma peg joints. They're a little shorter than usual, so just be aware of that. But it plugs right in. You shouldn't have an issue. Ab crunch wise, it actually crunches pretty far forward. Even with the legs, I'm always weary of Figma legs because I always have an issue. The legs actually seem pretty good, and I'm really enjoying it. It's one of those things where I'm pleasantly surprised, and I like it. It seems like Figma has been going back to the drawing board on doing redesigns, and I've noticed it with Link. It was something that was completely different for something that they would normally do, that they chose to go a different path. So it's really cool. Again, you want to watch the joints. Make sure you don't break anything. So just make sure they line up, just like I'm doing now. So I'm just testing out the range of motion. So yeah, the only thing that would hinder you on the lower body wise would be the belt and the gun. And I'm getting to that in a second. Because the guns, just like the swords, are part swappers. So you're going to gently pull them out at the weapon holster. which I'm trying to do without breaking, which I always have a fear of. But I know you can do it for the revolver, which I've easily done just now. And the handgun, which the one I'm having some type of trouble with. I don't know why, but I am. But yeah, I guess I'll leave that in for now. As you can see, it's on a ball joint, so I can rotate that all the way in. I am always scared of breaking my things on camera, but when I get around to it, I actually just never do it. But yeah. So the revolver actually looks really nice. There's no real crazy paint. It just looks really good as a revolver. Really cool. And I was a little surprised they only gave you one handgun, but it looks like one of those shield handguns that they would give Coulson the Fury. So it's pretty cool. Again, I don't know anything about guns, so feel free to tell me which kind of model this is, because I have zero idea. But this gun actually looks really nice. Fits really well, too. As far as the lower legs, you actually have thigh swivel that can rotate. You can do folding poses. One thing that's not a part former, Deadpool's knife, is lower left leg, not a part swapper. So you don't have to worry about one of those things. And one of the things I was very gladly to see when I got the figure was that it had really good ankle pivot. Like really good. Like I know Figma has ankle pivot, but it never reaches as far as and go as far as this. So this is something they actually put crazy thought into, as well as toe pivot. So this is one of those things they put a lot of thought into, because they had to tell themselves, you know, what are most of these guys going to want with a figure like Deadpool? So as you can see, the toe pivot, the toe and the ankle pivot are all there, where it can rotate and do cool things. You actually have the crunch. So as you can see, posing shouldn't be an issue for this Deadpool. Just shouldn't. But real quick, I want to talk about the hands. About the hands. I have one issue with the hands. Oh, and before I get into that, real quick, you can actually rotate this so that way you don't have to worry about losing articulation. This is a soft plastic, so you don't have to worry about breaking or losing it unless you bend it back too far. Then you're going to be in some trouble. You're really going to have an issue there. But real quick, this I'm not blaming anybody on. This actually happens to people. I just happen to have a bad stroke of luck with it. But in my sword hands, which is going to suck, I got two right sword hands. No left and no right. I got two right sword hands. Again, I'm not blaming anybody for that, because it's one of those things I'll go, chalk it up to a stroke of luck, and I just had a bad luck to have one delivered. Contacted the place where I got mine from. I'm supposed to have a new one soon. So it's no big deal to me, you know? It's one of those things where, you know, it just had to happen. Stroke of luck. But he does come with sword holding hands, left and right. Mine just happen to have two right ones. So it happens. Then you also get, here we go. You also get open hands. These are supposed to be the sword holding hands. You get gun holding hands for left and right. And you get hands for holding other items like cups, chimichangas, other sorts of weapons, machine guns, whatever it is, they give you the wider ones. So that's pretty cool. As far as extra Deadpool faces, you have his, pretty much his gleeful, joyful eye face. And the stock one that we go with when he has his eyes looking very weirdly at you, or he's making a joke, or being surprised. Then you get an extra set of hands, which is the Hawaiian hello, or thank you, or, you know, things like that. I've been told many times what it is. I consistently forget because I have so many things on the brand. Then you have a pointing hand, which I'm liking very much. I'm going to use this for a bunch of stuff, because you can use this to be whatever it is you want to be. But I noticeably in the comic books, Deadpool has become more serious, even though he's actually very comedic, which is really cool. So you can use the pointing hand for a lot of stuff. Then you get the right hand thumbs up, so I can have him doing it with Cougar together. Thumbs up, thumbs up. So real quick, I'm going to compare them to other scales, because that's the kind of stuff you guys care about. So let's do that. But first and foremost, before I compare him to other scales, I'm going to compare him to other Deadpools. So here he is next to the Revo one, which for the life of me, I never could get him outright in the pose to stand because I'm too busy having him in weird poses on my displays. Here he is next to a Marvel Legends one. Marvel Legends one also, I kind of just have everywhere. Has its custom head on it, so don't mind it. So as you can see, he is smaller of those guys so far. Then, if I can fit him in without knocking everyone down, we got the Mezco Deadpool. So as you can see, there's 4 Deadpools here. Figma is the shortest of them. But really not a big deal to me. It's my preference. The scaling really doesn't matter to me. But for those who do care about scale, it may be an issue for you because you may want to be in scale with your legends, or you may want to be in scale with your other heroes. You never know. Here he is next to SHF Kuga. They're about the same size, so it works well with the Japanese scale so far, as far as, you know, that stuff. Here he is with articulated icons. Works in scale with me, at least in my opinion. I think they're around a nice height. Here he is with an Icons Nightwing. Oop. Doesn't seem too bad. Not scale-wise. Doesn't seem too bad at all. And, I don't know. Let's see what else can I compare him to that I have around me. Oh. Here's a Revo Venom. So yeah, if he seems a little small, I mean, I think it works just fine as far as scaling with other stuff. Unless you collect clearly just domestic American stuff, it's going to be a problem. But if you collect all sorts of other things, I guarantee you it can work scale-wise. So, yeah. At this point, I think I've taken too long. I've kind of gone slow in this one. But, yeah, I'm chilling, trying to get things going. Also, I tested it out on the 112 scale Maestos because that's when I found out about my 2 right hands. But he can fit on the 112 scale Maestos. He can pose really nice on those. I wanted to add that in. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get a photo of it without the hands properly. But, yeah. Anyway, guys, do good, be good, drink your water. Don't forget your Figma stands that come with your Figmas. Be good out there, guys. Later.